we don't over time don't create a platform for make sure say we interact with government. But as una know, we'll start with the news updates across government. And after that day, I go hand over to the host, who are the minister, for takeaway on the topics we there for today. Now the first update we'll get now that last Tuesday, the 9th of January, His Excellency the President, Dr. Julius Madabio, received a delegation with good investors from the Kingdom of Morocco, led by the Ambassador of Morocco to Sierra Leone, His Excellency Issam Taib. We then come as a follow-up to His Excellency a visit will be take place in Morocco in November 2023. They come for explore various investment opportunities in our salon, with a particular interest for focus on President's priority way in agriculture. Also, the Sierra Leone Ambassador designate to the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, the African Union and the UN ECA, His Excellency Harold Bundu Safa, last week, Tuesday, the 9th of January, also officially take leave of His Excellency the President for who starts a new duty. The ambassador designates now the foreign minister representative to His Excellency the President. On Wednesday, the 10th, last week, also the President officially welcomed the resident coordinator, Madam Seraphine Wakana. Madam Wakana na Burundian national and seasoned economist. We get over 28 years experience in coordination, political engagement, economics, development planning for council support Sierra Leone's sustainable development efforts. When the President will receive her, the President said the government remains steadfast in the commitment for work with the different UN agencies in Salon. Also last week, Wednesday the 10th, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Dr. Eric Musa Paka, will launch the Sierra Leone Agricultural Research Institute SLARI Act 2023. This new act gave or paved the way for making the revamp the agricultural research in Salon, and also it expected it will contribute greatly to the Feed Salon agenda. Also on Friday the 12th last week, the President also meets with the National Council of Paramount Chiefs and the Intelligence Council of Sierra Leone for updates them on a range of governance issues, particularly the November 26 failed co-attempt. President Bio will meet with then groups there emphasize in government in commitment to peace, security, and the rule of law. Also, His Excellency the President yesterday received the leadership of the All People's Party, All People's Congress Party, the leadership in the Parliament, and the members of Parliament of the APC, now the minority leader, Honorable Abdul Kabo, now in lead delegation, when they go to President for both discuss various issues that already border on governance. His Excellency also used the opportunity for talks in politics about dialogue. And the President stressed a good for make the government and opposition for always discuss about governance. The last updates now on the international front. We on Thursday, the 11th January, the Republic of Sierra Leone joined several other countries across the world for signing the 2024 Hajj Agreement with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The agreement, now the chairman of the Sierra Leone Presidential Task Force on Hajj, Alhaji Mutada Sise, now he signed on behalf of Sierra Leone with the Saudi Deputy Minister of Hajj and Umrah, Abdul Fattah bin Sulaiman Mashat, We then do on the sideline of the third edition of the annual Hajj and Umrah Exhibition Conference with the owner Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. And so the updates will come, and I will pass on over to the minister who will host and also for introduce the guest that will get today.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Deputy Minister Yusuf Keke-Thomas-Sadi, Founder and host, members of the press, and for bringing warm greetings again as we don't come back with Young Press and Civic Engagement Conference, where we bring the people who are leaders of policy who can talk directly and answer any and all questions. I want to take the opportunity again for thank you to all the media partners there, where they carry me live, one of the bloggers there, social new media, all plenty thank you. We partner the SL Media where they carry, make sure you get good quality feed. As well, we partner with responsible with sign language to make sure say we're really adequate, inclusive, comfortable, and plenty thank you. It's an important day, a big conversation we get, because this conversation, the one way we discuss the country into future, the development of Salon. Waiting our development priorities. In the midst of all this other conversation that we get, the most important thing is who side the country they go. What's our priorities? How we don't set them priorities? The way that the process we don't get for a lifetime priorities in there. Today it's a high powered panel. I'm very, very pleased for getting a colleague in the cabinet. And this woman, one of the gems of Salon when it comes to development. Madam Kenya Ballet, not a stranger, with this small way, with this school. We are important. And they work for international agents in your country. Don't go all across the world and not do fantastic work representing this country. They don't place His Excellency for coming. He can lead on the country in development. The Honorable Minister for Economic Planning and Development, with Madam Kenya Ballet, and we can talk about the new medium-term national development plan. We can always also sometimes look for include the people's representatives. And today we get somebody who uniquely qualified for discuss this issue. The Honorable Musa Fofana. Honorable Nabi, the chair of Development Committee in the last parliament. So it takes part for us the last development. And will be also bring and can become the current chair for governance, the Committee on Local Governance. So, Honorable will present two serious constituencies and perspectives in this conversation. And make it there for represent the people's house. Again, while there, I can therefore remind you and say any and all questions are welcome. As long as the question will pertain to do with the government of Salon, we will answer to that. And last but by no means the least, now my former colleague that is the civil society space. I can always say not just civil society, but also a think tank, a thinker, etc. We think about development really critically in this national cohesion. So perspective I am closely with the Ministry of Development, with Mr. Andrew Lavalier, the head executive director for Institute for Governance Reform. So we get a very competent panel. I want to start with peace and the state of security of the country. We'll get that out of the way. Family don't see plenty audios in the background and videos in the background. I'm for sure the peace-loving people of Salon said tomorrow I work day and be free and safe for go about your normal business. Schools will be open. People need to go about their normal business free. Anybody who choose for embark in any illegal activity, I want to say this clearly, can be met with a very full force of the laws of Sierra Leone. the security apparatus, they are alert, and they will make sure, say, the other citizens them are protected, and the peaceful citizens they will go about their normal business safely. There's no need for worry as a peace-loving citizen. I will take this opportunity for plenty thank you to the chairman of the All People's Congress Party, the Honorable Ekailo Mansai. We issue a very stern statement for dissociate the party from the rumors available online. No APCO, SLPPO, nobody will call no protest tomorrow. And tomorrow there's a court sitting, we don't go on peacefully. Another one also will happen tomorrow. So all this will go on, I'll let people be rest assured. Means that if you organize a protest, this is a democracy. You apply to the Sierra Police and the Inspector General of Police to provide security. We now know say neither the APC nor the SLPP don't call for any protest, and no need no deal this time. So anybody will choose to try for undermine the peace, the security forces and will take a lightly with them. So I just want to clarify that they know they ask. Yes, of course we are aware, and yes, of course, the state stay in alert. So I just ask people to go about your ask any and all questions on the business of government. So now look at where we are when I will discuss development. We start with the Honorable Minister. Minister, this platform is an opportunity not just for make we talk about what they do, but for also provide civic education. First question I will ask you, then you really explain to us or come to the other panelists then for one speak, and then we'll open up for questions.
Thank you, Siba. And I'm glad you may get the opportunity for kind of talking here today. We both know that it's long overdue. We will fix this appointment in order to take place, but today now we got back. And so I think this is the most appropriate day. But before I go on to what waiting at a medium-term national development plan, I want first of all for at least educate the fourth estate within and the public what economic development, what is economic development be. And that's now the mobilization of your resources and invest in your country for the betterment, for the growth of that country and for the betterment of the people, for improve the quality of life of the people. Now in that economic development, because at times people do not even know what the ministry they're about, but that now for another day. In terms of the planning now, to reach this goal for develop your country, you can't forget one institution, the government, where they set the targets based on priorities of the people, based on the priorities of the government. Now we set the targets and we identify programs and policies where you go into these targets. Now the medium term, now the length of the plan. If now short term, we'll say now 1-2 years. Plans now usually for 5 years, 4 or 5 years, 9 countries can get planned. And for the past decades, I would say, we plan, except when we get a rolling plan, or we plan now for 5 years. This particular time, this plan now for 7 years. From 2024, this month 2024, to December 2030. And the reason for this is, one, say we align with the global goals of the Sustainable Development Goals, where they end 2030. So we say rather than we plan to 2028 and then we rush now for do a short 2-year plan, or we get the 7-year plan in line with what we don't plan towards we achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, the UN Sustainable Development Goals. Then people then say, oh, well, it'll go beyond this government in mandate. And let it go beyond the people and mandate, and then we forget development. But you find out, say, plans can take quite a while for development. Up to a year. we don't do your in lightning speed. That don't mean say it don't diminish the quality. But usually, if you want to do detailed survey at the end of the plan, the post-assessment, it will take time. So we give the next plan time, adequate planning for time. We base on planning on the midterm evaluation, or we just want to get enough time and experience and or make sure we realistically reach their goals. So that is the planning process and the plan. The plan. Can I go into the process and
yes,
the
please.
content? Thank you.
The process and then content.
The process with a plan, somebody can sit down in an office and by himself and write a plan. You get the framework, you get the format. But a plan, a country plan, it gets to be consultative. So we make sure from September this year, August, September, from when we begin in office, we don't consult on this plan. And we don't reach at least 8,000 individuals, I'm told. Now, with this, Siba, you don't take up up, because it's not just the journalist lady and I, but I was saying the whole of Sierra Leone. So we really don't cover more than 20,000, 30,000 people in terms of the discussion of the plan, the content of the plan. And during these discussions, they get feedback from these individuals. In the week of the 22nd to 24th of November, those 2 days, we staff them in day in all 16 districts of this country, holding 2-day discussions with comprising of traditional leaders, council members, traders, market women, youth, bike riders, school children. They're all they're part of this plan. Then we have a separate forum. We had a separate forum last week for youth, regional. We've also fed into the strategic plan discussions where a number of the ministries don't get. The Presidential Initiative for Climate Change, Transport Ministry, Gender Ministry. If you notice, over the last 3-4 months, every ministry don't get, almost every ministry don't get a strategic planning workshop. And an officer from my ministry don't do now, all of them workshop they did. Now, it really could be the other way around, that we set the overall target and then they do their strategic plans. But now what we do is like top, bottom, top, meeting in the middle. So while they think through, with people then they give their advice, then at the same time, then they keep waiting at their own goals and priorities. So now so this plan, and we still carry on consultation to the end. One major thing we are not talk, this is the process about the plan before we come to the actual content of the plan. The plan means that we set targets and policies, but it's based on the nation's vision. And the vision where we base our own plan on is, and this is based on the aspirations of the people. Now the proclamation where the president made, that the 2023 manifesto, right? It mentioned 5 big game changers, and I will talk about those. Maybe not in too much detail because of the time, but I will talk about them in a minute. But whatever we do, and it helps we now, that they guide we, that the focus of the plan now on these 5 game changers, then we get 5 enablers with support this plan. So that is very, very important. And I just want also to explain, for those who don't know, those that are engaged in sports, is evaluating a game changer. Right? But I just want to make all man know, not to a political gimmick. Right? And I will tell you why the relationship between these 5 game changers and why they will make a difference in Sierra Leone. From the first year of the president, the previous administration, we will go in a new direction. We will hold small because of COVID and the Ukraine war. So now we get to accelerate with development. We get to do something different. Now, if you're a sports person, you know that in the middle of a match, if things they go wrong, Sometimes you either change a player or a strategy for win that game. That's what we do. We change the players, we change the strategy. And with these 5 big game changers, we will change the trajectory of Sierra Leone.
Minister, let me just ask on the 5 game changers. I think people, well, we know them. We can name them quickly. But I want to just name them quick and then name the 5 enablers. Because I think most people don't know our family.
Okay, all right. Well, you all know the 5 big game changes, but let me name them quickly and I still get to talk about the next. Okay, the 5, Peace Salon, Human Capital Development, the Youth Employment Scheme, which is providing 500,000 jobs for youth. That's very specific. Technology and infrastructure and transforming the public sector architecture.
No, you don't switch them. I know, I see what you do there. Number 4 and number 5, but that's fine. We discussed this before. Because typically number 4, 9 transforming the public sector, and number 5, and technology. This is not Minister of Information. We'll let us stick to the facts. But I see what you're doing there.
Me and the Minister of Planning, we put them in the right order. So now you know, see, but there's a reason for that. Reason day.
Yes.
All right? I mean, the 5, they're still there. But if you look at them in logical sequence, not something for me.
Yeah.
Now, the flagship, the one way that the major program now for Feed Salon. And this Feed Salon, that's why I say it's not a gimmick. It's not to say you put food now people then belly, then gladly for you. No. Well, we will do that eventually. But it's using agriculture to turn this economy around. 50% of the GDP they come up from agriculture. Right? But it's still not enough for growing economy. That day we sabi. Now they people then sabi. We can change, and when I don't hear this, I presume from the Ministry of Agriculture, but we can change the dynamics. We make agriculture, we increase the contribution of agriculture to the GDP. We're not just look subsistence farming. We're looking at commercialized farming. That rest when we say we produce. We import $250 to $300 million worth of rice annually. Now, if we go into commercial agriculture, and even if we're able, within the first 3-4 years, produce 50% of what we import, you see how much money we can save. So that is the main reason, the main crux. And the same for the fishery sector. Okay, we talk about fish ponds, protein for people, that's good. But with commercial fishing, we therefore also increase that for also raise the GDP. You know that we get very good fish as salmon. We get different varieties of fish. But we cannot export the fish to the EU because of restrictions we to do with quality control and other things. But say them fish, they are transshipped to Ghana and they go out to Europe. Senegal, they go out to Europe. Why can't we say Duma? So the Ministry of Fisheries, they work on Nandi. Right? And then we look at nutrition. So I needed to focus on big salmon.
And no, that's fine. Yeah. But just the 5 enablers, what's the 5 enablers? Because I want people to know the content of this plan.
Okay. The 5 enablers we get. The first one, now diversifying the economy. Right? So even though I don't talk about agriculture now as central, we know that we get other sectors now in economy, mining, tourism, and manufacturing. We're ready for make this economy grow. So then they enable what do they do? They enable investments in the sectors where we refer to. The second one, now the governance. We look at governance. We can't forget proper governance. And that they said they look at the overall down to local governance, but it's looking at peace and security. It's looking at justice. All what we get for get the right environment for the country for develop. The other one is climate resilience. you know, say we get a natural resource management. You know, say we get the presidential initiative for climate change. In the fifth on the year, we're looking at disaster management. A lot of those, because if we keep on having all these disasters, the country also will grow. Then, by popular demand, because Siba, probably the last time you hear Ribotan, there were 4 enablers. Now there are 5 enablers. We get heavy lobbying from the Ministry of Gender. We get even heavier lobbying from Parliament, and we concede and we put the 4th enabler, gender mainstream, and then the 5th enabler now is financing, implementation, and resource mobilization. So those are the 5 enablers. But can I just talk 2 seconds about the nexus? Okay, when I don't hear about the 5, I don't tell you now it's not the game changes. I tell you why. I tell you now why feet are not priority. But there's a relationship between all of those 5 within with man called nexus. I don't know, see if I can help me with the Creole, but connection,
all the tying it together.
Yes. So with feet alone, you connect to human capital development, healthy mind, healthy body. Then you get people there now where they produce from the education system, where they help improve the agricultural sector. Likewise, the youth employment scheme. The focus, the target will be in the sectors that I told you, in fisheries and agriculture. If you come down to technology and infrastructure, of course, infrastructure for reach them, farm them, for reach into the rural areas, you need that infrastructure. Technology provides an opportunity for advancement and jobs for youth in that area. So we rarely see the need. Those 4 are all connected. But even the 5th one, within the Minister of Public Works, they always say, not public works, public affairs, public service, they say the 4 vertical pillars. Transforming the public service is the horizontal pillar on which all of them rest. Because you need good workers, extension workers for agriculture, you need systems in place, systems for agriculture, for health, for education, for every one of those 4 where I don't refer to. We need to get a good public service where they support the other enablers. So you see the link between all of them. So if we get them right, the game don't change.
Well, I think say another from as they can say the horse's mouth. The minister don't explain what you for expect for see a medium-term national development plan. I just want to remind people of a few things the minister say. Number 1, for the first time, the development plan not just tied to an election period, it now linked to the global goals. So you know they expire 2028, they expire 2030, a 7-year plan with a cut across political party. Then make this process don't be very inclusive and get the voices of the brothers and sisters of the opposition and the people of this country, so that this development plan will be owned by all sections of society. They don't embark on a huge, diverse, inclusive consultative process where they continue up until date because they're not even done the plan yet. When I don't see the consultation process don't yield dividend, not yield results. For the enabler that have been 4, but because of the consultation, the enabler that don't become 5. We don't see the addition of gender mainstreaming in the enablers there. They don't talk about the linkage with in all of the priorities they will get. Now, before we come to this plan, Honorable, I think one question we even get online, people will always ask, oh, as soon as we make development plans ready, we'll not see that. You be involved in the last development plan in your position as minister, as promotional. Honorable will be the chair of the development committee. Now you chair the local government committee. I want you just to reflect on the development plan, the last one, which you see, and which you want to learn for as a representative of the people.
Thank you very co-chair economic development planning during the last parliament for 3 years. And I've been part and parcel to the system from the start. One unique thing we committee find out about the midterm national development plan for Sierra Leone, and that's after the president of Ghana power 2018, a do consultation with PPRC, and then take the manifesto of 17 political parties and look into the manifesto for let them transform the SLPP manifesto into a national development document. And not stop under one day, they also include the SDGs. Why they include the Sustainable Development Goal, and for them we align with your national development plan to the international documents. But not also stop under one day. We find out, say, we get a lot of other connections with the AU Agenda 2063. Because when you look at the 7 pillars, you look at the 8 pillars, and you consider the 17 goals of the Sustainable Development Goals, you see the alignment with the National Midterm Development Plan of 8 clusters and 43 bullet points then align with that document. That made Parliament become very serious and concerned. Why? We look at the President Kaba first national document we come 1996, when I mean the PRSP one, Poverty Reduction Strategy Paper 1, where President Kabaka in second term in 2002, a bring Poverty Reduction Strategy Paper 2. What thing be missing? The pillars were very good. The document was very perfect, but the document was not collaborative. Why? The war. Number 2, I think the influx of NGOs and other implementing partners, it been very difficult for the government to harmonize development at that time. So we find out, say, they will build store, outside store not for day, they will build market, outside market not for day, they will do all kinds of things because that they get the money, nobody know they control them. So government look into this one, say this is a very good strategy for looking into. What is also important, that document also concentrates on the agenda for change. When the former president, Dr. Ernest Kuma, became 2007, he bring the agenda for change. They're wonderful pillars. I can assure you. When it came 2012, he bring the agenda for prosperity. But one thing we also missing, the collaboration, the popularization, and the involvement of the people who will be the beneficiary to the project here. So that make we not able for even align them document here to the international document, because we not being get a secretariat where we look at the achievements and then align them to waiting we get and waiting we not get at all. So when we government in the go United Nations or in the go EU or any other engagement, they will be able to explain what thing that we don't achieve and what thing that we don't achieve. So as Parliament, the leadership been giving all the support. By then, Minister Kaikai been in charge. Say, make sure see, you pay all the attention. I was in an opposition by then. Then I've been seen for CNP. But I think the former minister will testify that we go on the length and breadth of this country. Whether na Falaba, whether na Pujo, na Gambia, you name the rest. And the government also makes sure say one day nobody will interfere by my job as an MP. Even we are in the opposition. I've been free for doing the job. One simple one, now when we go for do an oversight for the Mabam Bridge, the Bele Bridge, the Moyamba Junction, Moyamba Town, and then the Liberia Highway from Bo to Jemena. They've been very tough because these are EU projects where they get total control. But as Parliament, we get a belief, say, Section 118 of Section 7, it gives you the mandate, say, whenever something can in this country, therefore inform Parliament and Parliament forget an oversight step to top up. So for that reason, we ask them why they job are today, because these are projects where they don't commission last, why up to now you don't complete. These are the achievements that we this document will make. Why? Now because if you go to the road sector, we make sure say SLRA and the Works Ministry and contractors will align into the midterm national development plan, because the president in a cluster and a bullet say
in infrastructural development, we will pay attention to them. So I want to let we understand the reason we make the midterm national development plan at some stage get some shock because of the coronavirus, of course, and it creates serious problem. The government donors where they concentrate in Africa or Salon, they get the leaders in the country and pass and concentrate to that one day. Or yet still, I want for Ashona say, with we don't work what we do. If you consider the health sector, for example, where for every 100,000 people they where they give back, we almost lost 1,000. Government paid a lot of attention because of the midterm national development plan for reduce that particular one. And today we get a very good mark. When you look at 2018 survey, where these documents do for we know, for example, what we don't achieve and what we for do. If you go to energy, for example, 2018, the energy where this country the boast of was 15.0%. I get the national review, local review, where the ministry do. The ministry in target for 2023 now for 44% of energy. And I can show now with the West Africa Power Pool, where Kono, Kenema, Bo, they on that line, I think we get enough power. And I see we must follow hit the 44% target. And I know see with the green energy, the presidency, you want to hit 1,000 target. When you go to the mining sector, it's been difficult for them to be able to align the mineral gains what this country they make. Because you want to do background check. For most of the mining companies, so they come, whether they can clean money or they don't can clean money, whether they get money, they don't get money, they just go hold concession, they go sit down and sell the concession at the end of the day, we go at lost. But because the government pay attention at the mining sector, this government negotiated one of the best contracts with Gerald Mining Company for up to 10% free carriage for this country. We lose them in a router because President Kababe also injected money in a router for up to get 30%, or we lose them during the last government. Now we don't get 10% free carriage over yonder. When you go to Shandong or Leone Rock Mining Company, we also get the rail and the port, where they are above $1 billion. These are negotiations for expand the revenue base because the government say we need for fund, we don't put them on we own. The minister ends on side we are one for also just share tonight. Cluster 8, that is document very powerful because the national plan implementation is very, very critical. That is particular plan. Now, in the government finance, very easy to tap into this plan. When you look at the coordination of the finances, it's also very important. Government, they pay a lot of attention to Sierra-Leoneans. For the Sierra-Leoneans, they do the public-private partnership investment so that they will own their own business on their own. If you see the Betmile energy project right now, Sierra-Leonean own 100%. We get almost 4 large-scale mining companies when Sierra-Leonean own. We get small-scale mining companies a lot when Sierra-Leonean own. Maybe if I get opportunity for come back with the instruction from the minister, I'll come with lots of other details.
Right.
And also the monitoring and evaluation, and for strengthening the statistical system. I think that some of them things that we will be able to achieve, some of them things I will achieve so far. Thank you, Mr. Minister.
Thank you very, very much. I think in the midst of a lot of negative news about the parliament, today you don't really show in Aya, right on this platform, say actually we get people in our parliament to the work. We know what they talk about. You are detailed, you are factual, and I even feared for Abdullah Valley small because Abdullah Valley can call himself the data man. But the MP don't cause more data before even Abdullah gets a chance to get a bite. But I think the highlights is you don't really make clear to family the importance of national development plan. And you point out the concrete gains they will get because of that development. And the role with parliaments play. I want to take this opportunity to say you don't make the right choice by the right party, but I am a separate part. Huh? So welcome inside the greenhouse. But he also really want to underscore the point, say when it comes to development, it no matter whose party you dey. And that's when this man, as he say, the other party, the minister there and the leadership of His Excellency, work very closely with her for get the right plan and for implement it. And that day that the message with His Excellency will share, Salon big pass we all leave Salon above all else. And we can belong to different factions, but when it comes to development, we come together and unite as one. Andrew, you think a lot about development. You always they critique, they review, they do data, they do studies, some for go, some not for go, what's in the happen, what not happen. You look at the polls. I just want to give you a chance to reflect on what you do so far. And what do you think Salon supposed to focus on in the next 5-7 years as we think about the new national development plan?
Thank you very much. I don't know if this is an ambush, because when I read anti-Kenyan and honorable talk, I think Sejolika talk I really not get something to say again. But they are all very right. But Honorable Minister, I just want to start by asking the journalists then, let we be citizens for the first time. Just forget about your media work. Minister said this is the most important thing. Now we talk about 500,000 jobs. If 500,000 jobs paying as alone, APC person will get jobs, SLPP will get jobs. If Feed Salon succeed, and the question we need for actually you write the paper, how will they make sure say that you also day, how you will get food for it? Now I can see people that don't get food, they can't see your whole they plan about WhatsApp, APC, SLPP. They don't even think about the plan where government gets, how do I engage with that plan? Now that makes this conversation very important. Now that make my first call. Now for them we forget about being me. I know talk as civil society, and they talk as a citizen of Sierra Leone. Because if this plan fail, APC, SLPP, all man fail. If this plan succeed, you know what will happen? If they talk of financial inclusion, you could begin to ask how many people don't get bank accounts 5 years ago don't get bank accounts now. If they talk about connectivity, how many people don't get lights now they host? They get lights now. So that make Minister Kenya, I want to congratulate you for this is the first time for law gets a medium to longer term development plan. It's not just medium. Now we get 7-8 years plan. And always there has been this critique that the PRSP is very short. How do you get something with long small? And how do you get something with the transition regimes? When you go across regimes. It's 20 years ago when we made the first PRSP. And I'm glad the Honorable will take a broad tour of that history. For the first one just after the war, where the biggest focus on building peace and building institutions. So when they talk say today, when they praise back about say build institution and build peace, it was his development plan. 2 years on, 3 years on, there was a change of government and there was a change of that focus on building peace, building institutions. We come to the agenda for change. I'm not going to criticize any regime, but there was a tangential focus on peace and development. So today, if you talk, say 20 years ago, we had PRSP with the focus on peace. Now, listen, just November last year, we get coups. If you go outside of this building, you get tension. So what has been wrong with our planning? Is it that we not build better? Is it that we not build inclusivity? So as we do this planning, I'm glad we talk about the enablers. The enablers, they really talk about how do we build inclusivity, how do we build planning. But at the bottom of all of this, I just want for the Honorable Minister, let me just tell you how citizens can look at this then big 5 year. The first one, every person now when you ask, when you talk say Feed Salon, you remember now how they forget food. So we forget the baseline, but we sell people in dinner in terms of food because and we'll not get everybody wrong. By 2030, not to all Salon man get forget food. We'll get to measure how many people will not get food from now on to that time. The next one we will talk about highly skilled workforce and healthy workforce. So people like normally they ignore education because education really not a vote winner. So you see a lot of governments across Africa they find it difficult for investing in education, invest in human capital. But waiting there in this plan And waiting there in subsequent previous plan then, now how do you get your household, that your household, waiting at the health care in the household, how do we ensure that there is somebody at least now that you host it, we learn book, we get skill for work. So after 7 years, now so you get for measure the effect of this plan. So if you go down the road, you go to energy, you go to roads. So look at this plan and look at what this plan means to you and your life. And out of this plan now, you therefore begin to talk about how do you get a district development plan? How do you get Kono district development agenda? So you cannot say no more with the go develop plan. No, and Bomali say no, we are in a position with the go develop plan. Without looking at this plan, and Minister Balekin agrees, say, all government fundraising, all development partner resources get to be channeled to this. So if you come on a bill what Chidon, if you come on send me come out, now Moyamba, we get to say we Chidon development plan, get to look at the big 5 game changers. How many jobs get for kind of Chidon? So forget about being a journalist. Look at this plan and see what does it mean to my community, what it mean for my children, what it mean for my country. I don't know, I've spoken quite a lot, but I know what it mean when somebody can follow this talk and listen to questions.
Thank you so much, Andrew. I really appreciate that. Before I open up for questions, we keep on saying let people study this plan. And thank you, Andrew, because I think the points where you raise, where tied to points, the sentiment of this conversation is for think first as a citizen. We are all salon people there. Waiting inside this for me. You know, Maslow, you need this first, you have to think of yourself. And that whether you like it or not, whether you believe in this government or not, this plan, now they inform all development assistance in Salon. I make that very clear to the team in the engagements in this process that if it's not inside this plan, we cannot engage UNDP and all the other partners and say give you money for this, because any money they give for the next 5-7 years can be tied directly to what's inside this plan. I just want to speak briefly and I'll open up for questions, Minister, on how people right now, somebody say, wait, to all this talk around talking good. I want to read this plan. I want to contribute to this plan. Who's supposed to? Yeah, man.
Yes, if we will get the opportunity once the one whole country for read this plan. But what I have failed to mention, Minister, is that if you can remember, we make a commitment, say, this plan will be done in December, and we will get a brand new plan for start of January this year. Well, I normally start target to, the plan did launch on the 30th of January. It will be launched by the President on the 30th of January. And as I tell you, consultations are still ongoing. Well, unfortunately, we don't get any phone in now, ask phone in right now. And also Andrew don't help me with the NGOs, and maybe he will also open a portal for that as well. But by the 30th of January, the plan will be available to everybody on the launch. We'll have a QR code. Those that will come to the launching will get pen drives. So, and about reading the plan, what you can say about it, you need for reading. I just want to emphasize that because it's a little bit different from the last plans. You know, so every time you do something, there has to be an improvement. The other plan was brilliant. We have some of the same set of people we work on the plan. By the way, it's a homegrown plan. No international consultants. The working papers we got from the line ministries. Then we had to change, improve, or complete the plan. So even in this plan, you get the district, you get district profiles. We're not ever done there in any plan. District profiles the day, but we come from, then we get priorities from the discussions that were held at district level. Because sometimes you're going to hold these discussions and it's not really recorded. So we don't put that in the plan so that they can work on it further. Then also, I failed to mention that we're looking beyond 2030. You mentioned, Honorable, you mentioned the AU Agenda 2063. We also, in the next year or so, will have Sierra Leone Agenda 2063. The AU Agenda, now the Africa we want In consultation, that's where we're going to have more consultation, make more time, a plan, a longer term plan entitled the Sierra Leone we want. So in response to your question, it will be available to everybody on 30th of January, but we still get a chance, all of you, for more in-depth discussion on long-term planning towards the Sierra Leone we want by 2063. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. Also, as the Minister of Information and Civic Education, once the plan don't be done, we go work with Ministry of Development for make sure see farm will get access to this plan. We will do simplified versions, we will do videos, we will do simple audios, we will do graphics, we will make available to the press and to farm all across the country. I got some questions online. I'll ask them quick and I'll open up to now. Somebody say, Minister, let me clarify NGO registration process because of the confusing communications right now from Slango and the employee. I say Slango gets some issue, they get this. I don't say Andrew self belong to Slango, so but Minister, you there? Maybe if you can take that question before we. Somebody also they ask, I can normally do them together in our camp. Somebody also they ask whether the EBK trial will be aired live on media outlets. I go answer that. Somebody also they ask, we lab provide information on the measures that will be taken by the ministry for control unauthorized release of sensitive classified government information to the public. And a key question I don't go online. I'll start with the last. See of late, yes. It seems like say more and more classified secret government information then they're normally working in the hands of public officials and civil servants, them will be linked to the public in this day and age where we get this obsession with all break news. We don't see that. I know that this is something the government takes very seriously. We get laws them already in many places. We get the administrative rules, we get the laws them. We get for do better, for implement their laws and they hold people into account. Sometimes we start to accounts, they're very public and they can say, oh, not planning. But this is a very serious issue that is affecting and could affect us even further. This is something the government take very seriously. On the question of whether the EBK trial will be alive, the judiciary of Sierra Leone decide on these things when it comes to everything. But we I will assure the people that all the trials so far are public trials. So journalists they don't attend all, the people in Budigi and they report on their trial and they I don't see the judiciary they do some trials when they go on live, but they will make a determination based on the different factors they will see. But all trials will be public trials. But Minister, I'll take this language question quicker.
To register NGOs, we said to register NGOs. But one of the criteria for make we register NGOs is that you therefore be a registered member of Slango. That's as far as I want to take that question. And not say Slango gets some issues that we don't try to mediate. But as Slango don't point out, we don't get that control over Slango. Slango is now a consortium of NGOs. They all come together. They have issues they need to sort out. These issues, they get a constitution. They go by the constitution. Right? Now we can get letters from both Slango board. For we go by the Slango constitution, and they deal with the institution where they're in place as of their last annual general meeting. So since the question will be there on registration, you get to register with Slango before you register with the Ministry of Planning. And as I say, they now are a link between the NGOs and government. We need to make sure all NGO activities are coordinated so impact stays on this country.
Thank you very much, Minister. Now, let's go. Questions. Start from the back today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side, and then we'll count the next one. So start. Go.
My name is Musila from the Nature newspaper. minister, what thing you will tell the Sierra Leoneans when they will say we don't get boku development plans then since the days of Baba to date. And Sierra Leone don't get problem with the planning, the paper planning, but when it comes to implementation, it's a different ballgame. What you will tell the Sierra Leoneans about that?
Thank you. Number 2. Yeah.
Okay. My name is Ibrahim Jawara from IB Blog. The question goes to Madam Minister. The development plan, one for know how consistent and inclusive this plan be, because government come, any government come get in plan. And I think that the affect development, the capital and globally Pakawa will set up this. If only we continue with plans that we get, I don't think it's by now for the top of this. So how consistent and inclusive this plan be? Even if we get change of government, the plan will still continue as Madam Puta.
Thank you. Ladies, number 3 here.
Iris Anansi Bambura, Epic Radio. One of the things that we the Ministry of Executive so far for combat and misinformation and disinformation, and it's like so hard. Whenever something comes out, you post on my website and they will say it. But it's been issues, mostly when it comes to bloggers, and that's one of the things I'm happy that some of them are here. And we know the issue of honorable partner and wife when they go around. And we had the ACCPRO on air, where it also, there's this slip where they go around that she's been paid, she was paid 31,000 a month as salary, which of course that's not true. We're not trying to debunk what they're doing. But the point is, that's not what she was being paid. ACCPRO say it's around 7,000 or something. So this is something that needs to be tackled. As me that bloggers are not journalists, but sometimes they think they do. Because one thing we need to do is ensuring we don't circulate something. If you're not certain about something, don't say it. So I think that needs to be clarified.
Thank you. Number 4.
You mentioned from our question is to the Minister of Information. You mentioned that there is no way they make crowd on social media that tomorrow there will be a protest. And we don't see security presence like Capital City. Don't you think this too much security presence will be, threatening some people for making them come out to go?
Number 5. Who are you there, number 5? Then you.
Mina John Kelly Mara, I did the for the way to super and that's for personal reason. Mr. Lavali, this question is for you. With the massive corruption according to journal reports, whose plan will be feasible, sustainable in this time around, sir? Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. We have a few questions. Eka asked Minister for stats. The question which you go see to people that will say longer could be consistent and inclusive. This plan B, now your question and
I agree with your point of view where we don't get local development plan. May start in the Ministry of Planning where we will get the second development plan, right? And we've had probably 10 plans since that time. I began in mid-1980, right? And yeah, very long time. And you know, when I first went to the ministry, okay, so I just want to say, I was always told the success of a plan is the implementation. You know, say we very first development plan was the best written plan on the continent, I was told. But for some reason, it was put aside. And you know which country picked up that plan as a blueprint for their planning. A country at that time where you call Sano Itwin, Botswana, same population size, minerals, everything. They used our first development plan. They stood to up. Now Botswana, a middle income country. One of the few middle income countries in Africa, right? So that also proves that. Then what happened with the second development plan, that also they put them aside because of political reasons. You were there as a minister of planning, opting to go to your own constituency. So you continue to get voted in. That's one of the reasons why they're not, the same reason why they not connect constituencies to ministers. That was the same reason. That was put aside, right? But I want to say, from my experience, it's your political will. And we know this time around, we get strong people that utter the unified game changers. It was his vision, as I always say, President Leone envisioned, but based on the aspirations of the people, based on the assessment of the previous development plan. So we know, say, we get the commitment of the head of state. And I know, say, I can say for myself, and I think I can talk on behalf of all the other cabinet ministers, we all committed for CSA this plan book. So you're going to see, we could put in the utmost, you know, from all of the ministries, the impact that each of the ministries don't make in the last 100, in the first 100 days. And you will see a lot of differences in cabinet, you know, not because just of the youth, but the commitment. And you will see more partnerships between ministers, 2-3 ministries, meaning that we really want to stay together and make this plan book. And we hope that at the end of the 7 years, we'll say, yes, we've achieved it. We'll prove that this plan is good through this implementation.
Thank you, Minister. Mr. Lavali, the question alleged say massive corruption day. So if massive corruption day, how we expect this plan here for work?
Yes, thank you very much. I will again piggyback on that question on many plans for results. So now that make we start for say whether not corruption or whether not plan or no results or let us think about yourself as a journalist small and think about yourself as a citizen. If this plan succeed, we all succeed. If this plan fail, must not say we all fail. It doesn't matter whether you do. So on we own part, as at the Institute for Governance Reform, you know what we do, so we call it biometer. So we can track all the question with Minister Kenya Bale done work. We watch all the promises and we track them one by one. So we not just want to track our civil society, we want the media join for track government in plan and delivery. So not you let the wait till the end. You do one year in, year out. Let me tell you something. Last year before the election, we actually published all President View a promise we make inside the election in 2018. We found out, say, 79% of them promises they either they partially fulfill them or they fulfill all. So
Yes, Danny, wait. I'm interested in getting back here. 79% are A plus.
Yeah.
So hold on 1 second. President Bill big plan in the food. All the commitments we made them tracker independently. 79%. They are headlines, eh?
So here's another news. So the other news now, so we begin to ask yourself now, say if 79% you don't do all, then waiting change. So it will be say you don't plan for do something, but that plan will you make, you go do them, but it not necessarily translate into change. So some people in the talk say, no, this 79% where you say, this Unana SLPP NGO, but indeed he said it, he did it. So the reason why we published that before this plan, we will talk say, if we do another plan, not focus on the tangibles. Not on how many laws you make in a parliament. Because they talk say, and they make this law in a parliament, you pass the law. You don't do them. but does that translate into results? That's the difference between that plan and this plan. And now the difference between this plan and many other plans. This plan, they talk about the 5 fingers, so you can actually count the 5 fingers. All this plan, you can count the 5 fingers. Jobs. I don't want to call them by order. So you feed jobs. So you, as a journalist, no wait till the plan fail. Begin to track the plan. Right? You can do it at the chiefdom level, you can do it at the district level, you can do it at the national level. So, in the biometer, now what you do, sometimes to 556 promises, the most tangible ones. For one way they monitor government, if you go online, you can see by the meter. By the meter, they focus on 100 promises. But each one a tangible promise for America. Now, so if I look at this promise, this plan, Minister, and I just conclude, this can be a solution to peace building. Because the more we get jobs, the more we stop fighting. All these things will affect. Now, we jobs are few. Now, that means, even, in fact, we will see more first day within APC and more first day within SLPP than between SLPP and APC. No, this position, I mean, for that position, don't let the business, just because the public sector is small and the jobs are few. We need to come together. We hold this plan, let the basket grow for all share together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I think you saw in that President you talk. Okay, 2 questions here for me. One is on the security presence, whether they 30 people. I think the opposite, the security there, for sure the people and say, you know, in the past, people that don't make fake threats, we ignore. They make threats, securities, then sit down out. But they go about and commit unspeakable offenses. We affect ordinary peace-loving citizens, APC, SLPP, and non-aligned. The responsibility of His Excellency and the state security apparatus are to protect life and property. Then they do whatever it takes to do that. And they allow anybody to take advantage of anybody's situation or any perceived weakness in the security posture. So yes, you will see a very robust posture because the security not take anything for granted in this country anymore. So people that will be rest assured, this is for their own safety and their own peace. They will go about the normal, they don't go to stop you and all. But if now somebody who cause nonsense, they will be dealt with according to the law. I'm glad you guys talk about fake news. Plenty of people, including sometimes prominent journalists, they're very quick social media for share. Sometimes they cross-check the information. Sometimes people are waiting at your house. I see one of them post back, or that person post back. When they cross-check, what's they do? You're right. It will lower the debate threshold. It will lead to more misinformation. You know, they edify the country, they promote to democracy, and sometimes they victimize people unfairly. So this is not just for joining you in the call to bloggers there. Please, you can hold on, you can pause and verify the information. But to the general public, if you don't get the Ministry of Information and Civic Education staff, if you don't know our page, just don't say for tweet out a pinch of salt. When it is fact, or don't check all things, we they give the information. And we journalists sometimes they call me for us, I can say, hold on, because I want to make triangulate the entire information. And we will publish them. It's as good to gospel or Quranic fact as you are going to get in this country. So we know the lie. We will check before we put our out. I don't want to comment on the specifics of that case. I think that's Corruption Commission. I don't talk about that. And we will get himself now in one of the press conferences there as well for like answer some questions to the public. Okay, next round of questions on this side now. Alright, 1. A woman. 2, 3, 4, I need one more. 5, gentlemen in the green. Okay. All right, let's go.
Thank you very much. Minacho Babi Okena and Mina concerned citizen. I want to commend the Minister of Economic Development and Planning for a well-consultative and long-term plan for the country. At the very first term, as we all understand, say we get plan, they elapse 5 years.
Sure, you must say I want to give a speech. Next question.
So I want to ask the Minister and the Honourable Member of Parliament, how this 5-year plan, this 7-year plan, go be implemented in case, I know of course, the SLPP therefore continue for whole, but in case there is a change of government, waiting a parliament in Rome for ensure say whoever come after will continue with this plan.
Good question, thank you. Next.
Hello, this is Madam Minister, in light of global economic trends, how you ministry they adapt the plans them for ensuring the country remain a competitive international stage. And also, Mr. Rabali, you make mention of the jobs that the government say the government is active for providing jobs for its mandate. Now the country has active seems very, very comprehensive. But tell me how it would impact the country and how unemployment among youth they affect the overall sector economic landscape.
Good afternoon. Leone Ibrahim Isaac Mansare.
Line number 3?
Yes.
No, this part number 3. Pakama.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Mr. Lavalisa, today we talk on the meaning of some national development plan. As a veteran journalist, I will talk on behalf of the media guys. We call for patriotism and nationalism for support the medium-term national development plan. I'm now going to ask you, whenever the National Financial Committee can and its country, the CSOs get more favors for getting financial tokens than the poor media. One thing you were able to for telecom civil society organizations that say, when government is in the right path, come out to the street with placards in a civilized manner, a peaceful manner, for showcasing the international community say, the civil society of Sierra they in line with the government of the day, so that could reduce the psychosocial effect of the protesters or whoever they are against the government. What you able to do?
Thank you, sir. Now declare me of the celebrity question. Number 4, I'll give chance answer.
To Lord. Mina Ibananyaka. My question will go to the Minister of Planning. I want to know how best the ministry within this plan about for come with, how best this plan capture the activity. The reason being, within this plan, I could say with the plans, if we the plans, we can more capture the various communities then within the city. Of course,
boss, we don't get a question, bro.
Sure.
Thank you. Number 5, please.
Yes, good afternoon. Mena Bobodan Kamar, Light from New Citizen newspaper. This is just a quick one for Mr. Lavali. I want to know the methodology we use for arrival at the point say the 2018 SFP manifesto, then deliver 78%.
1%.
But also, as a salesman, I want to know your general impression. Then they resonate in the life of the average Sierra Leonean. Thank you.
All right, that gentleman, they asked the final question, yes. Okay, we don't get it, man. Yeah.
Good afternoon again. My name is Ibrahim Reza Konsari. I'm a human rights activist who work for Center on Parliamentary Operations. My question will go to Mr. Minister. Mr. Minister, recently we see the main opposition minority leader then go and visit the president. I want to put up before you say, go away and go for go see the president. Now some really civil society not convinced. It means the president they pretend like he work with the opposition for show the international community or the people of Sierra Leone. But for me, nothing to write home about it.
Because the man not on Moimana, military president they think. Anyway, thank you very much. That made this platform day. We welcome. Okay, we're not listening now. The answer to the car. Would you welcome any and all questions? Zin, Akin, I kind of to ask, but I also reflect for you right for ask the question. One thing we're very clear is His Excellency the President. You don't need for pretend to anybody. The President don't show by words and action that he committed to peace. And he committed to this country, he led this country and want to bring this country together. In record on peace cannot be questioned. Effect for this country. Short. Fighting for this country. It starts the peace process. It hands over democracy. All of these empirical, undisputed, unquestionable facts. Fought or shot at for this country. Started the peace process, handed over power at the time when democracy in Africa or the reality. He left the country for allow peace to happen. When he came back, he contested an election. That election day was disputed. He accepted and congratulated the opponents and worked for peace. When the country faced a crisis, he came back. He fought across the country for peace, working with the incumbent government. After the election, his first speech was to call for peace. Everything about this man in life has been putting the interests of this country above his own personal interests. That's why we talk plenty, and I think we need to talk for him. But what did he do? The commitments cannot be questioned. And don't make that mistake for question, the intention, the action, and the determination of His Excellency President Julius Malema. Alright, Madam Minister, we get a question about how they ensure say this plan is implemented. Would you also honorable for comments on that question there? How you ministry adapt the plan for make sure say we competitive globally, the unemployment. Yes, so I think okay, and then how best the Black Freetown City Council. Okay.
Okay. On the first question, we're really not a mind reader like the previous speaker, but I know how the international community they work. Now, as I tell you, we all plan, and a number of plans in other countries, they align with the SDGs. The SDGs, they end 2030, right? Any new leader will come, right? They go want to make them stop, right? So, but waiting we to do with this plan, it give a leeway for whole discussions. Probably it will take 18 months to develop the plan. So you're going towards the end of the 7 years, you get your brand new plan where you start off with. Now, why I say I know Sabi how the international community work. If the SDGs end in 2030, anybody go want come in if they want align themselves to the SDGs, go just want get a plan for like 18 months or a year. That's person. And the SDGs, definitely the UN go get another plan. Maybe 15, 20 years, but it's best for any planner for fit within that plan frame. So I just feel say they go adopt this period or allow this plan for run just through basic common sense. And then start now on a clean slate when we look at goals from 2031. On the competitiveness of the global stage, Sierra Leone, highly respected on the global stage. Maybe we're not a trumpeter enough. I have very competent staff in my ministry. There are a number of activities that go on in the ministry where Sierra Leone, they look to Sierra Leone as an example. There's a study, like the Integrated National Financing Framework, where Sierra Leone don't present so many times on the global stage. There was only last month, it was presented nationally, but people didn't use that report as an example. So many other reports. In the arena of peace, say Sierra Leone respected at the AU level, the ECOWAS level, the MRU level, and of course the global level, hence we presence on the Security Council. But with ministry, Sierra Leone also the chair, the G7 plus group of countries, which are 20 countries that have been in conflict, emerging from conflict. And we don't chair G7 plus for 10 years. It's not a pass a die, but then you look at the competence of Sierra Leone. So we got to report more on these things within the plan of the successes, so that you could really say that Sierra Leone is competitive, and my ministry, I can also boast, can boast of competitive staff. The very third, Freetown City Council. The Freetown City Council, we don't work with the council. The council has been part of the Western area meetings. Remember, I talked, say, we the plan at that policy level, and then we expect that there will be more strategic plans at the district or the Freetown City Council level. So I believe, say, the Freetown City Council get their own plan, like the other districts for which the ministry help the districts for develop, and we continue for work with the Freetown City Council. We work with every council. We work with somebody going to talk about the inclusivity and every individual, because the mantra now in development is leave no man behind. So we don't let any institution or individual behind on this development journey.
Honorable, for make sure say elect government change, the plan is consistent.
Thank you very much, sir. I just want to say a very critical for let me understand, say Parliament, they look at this country in challenges from a different angle. This is the more reason why the Parliament they pay a lot of attention now to the Ministry of Planning and Economic Development. We get a full committee. We get some committees in Parliament that are just not a complete committee, but just a committee where they look over certain things. But Economic Development Planning Committee, like a full committee. And I want to assure that say the successes with this government don't make and the international community for even the MCC is because of an international development plan in connection to the international documents there. Why you need to understand this, go back and watch the MCC scorecard before the president took over 2018, and you see the growth what we get, and then you watch the agricultural sector, the health sector, the infrastructure sector, you will see how the graph go up. So because Parliament don't get a substantive committee where they look at national development, and I want to assure now that we deal with the minister very strongly. The minister, just 2 weeks ago, the minister did the Parliament with the whole team, in directors, they go brief the new 6th Parliament about the midterm national development plan where they develop. So that's all the term of the collaboration between Parliament and the ministry. Or that can be assured, because now we face the day at the ballot box, or the ballot paper, sorry. Because now we face the day, Now we are the people that are representative. We mandate that to scrutinize government and report to the people there. And when you look at the 5th Parliament and the 6th Parliament, it's full of young people, plenty energy, everybody serious for people using your pocket money for do small development and community. And for that, everybody knows it's salon for we don't let it, and we need to fast track. The gap. And the only way for fast track as we civil society brother they say, we're not going to look at politics. Or we can be assured, if for any reason some of you see some of them see our own and they ask, if they don't move fast, we for don't talk because our position we made before we come and ruling government. So we are confident that this midterm where the ministry develops so now, it will stand the test of time, and no matter what happens, Salon will be well informed, and Salon will continue to move ahead with that particular development plan going forward.
Excellent, thank you very well. Mr. Lamali, there's a few questions about your numbers and all that. We get about 4 minutes more. We can say, yeah, so.
Thank you very much. I think before I answer the questions, I really need to give kudos to Mrs. Kenyebale, and it's been tremendous work. Me, I don't take part in 2 consultations. There was one by civil society, where this year, where they talk about gender, we will be to the woman, they will talk, say there should be something on gender. So, Una, the journalist there, they say the space still open for consultations. Right, say there's something in that plan that I still want. So write to the ministry. So, in the next 5 years, I really want to let this happen. So, this press conference, I see it as the biggest platform for consultation. And one of the outputs now how the journalists, they not just go publish. Say me, Ms. Honorable, and she's quite accessible. You write to them, go drop out. Yeah? So, because this like true meaning of what you say, we remove development from citizens, from users and choosers of services to makers and shapers of policies. So now we know the shape now how the next life can look like. Somebody talk about how can jobs be created. I don't think so you get 6 hours. They say I just get 2 minutes more. But you get Boku ways how the next 500 jobs can be created. The last time I checked statistics earlier, they said they get 185,000 small enterprises, SMEs, where they don't create about 240,000 jobs. When they get capacity to create 240,000 jobs. Imagine if one panel just creates an extra job, lots of say one, just create an extra job in 5 years. You know what that means? Or 2 jobs in 5 years. It means just from small and medium scale enterprises, you should actually get 500,000 jobs. It's possible. Forget about mining companies. So it's about you own business that you host. My father said, take the plan. You own business that you host. That is anti-business that you host. How that business can grow. Not forget about SME, BAPC, small, not big, also. CSOs engage in donors on the positives about government. I think say anybody get right for something, but at least we'll get the responsibility for rebrand Sierra. There is quite a lot of positive will happen about this country. Unfortunately, at any time you open radio, are just negative. So we all get an obligation for talking which is the fine, and there are things we bad, there are things we good as well. The last one, somebody mentioned about the methodology for the biometer. I don't just share the biometer with the minister, we'll share with you all the methodology the inside. And when you read the biometer, read that with the SFP manifesto. Because if they say they promise this, the consultant they will hire for the biometer and they go ask, they go to that ministry, they una do one. You don't just say yes, with an evidence say you do one. But the person asks the question back, say, how did this resonate with the people? So it's 79%. It was all done. But that 79% day, it not necessarily say if you do 100%, salon for don't change. So it means that I'm making out that this plan here, they learn from that one, they say, how do we focus on the concrete, on the tangibles? That if we get 500,000 jobs, change will be, rather than the number of policies so passed by Parliament. I think it's the biggest point of departure. Thank you.
On that note, I have to take the opportunity to tell all plenty thank you and come back to the press conference. I have to tell we partner radio stations, television stations, and other stations. They plenty thank you for when they carry we live, and all the journalists them. I have to tell the guests them. Bull, Minister for Planning and Economic Development, the Member of Parliament, Honorable Fofana, the brother and will have thank you, Deputy Minister Yusuf Kekotoma Sande as well. Next week, we will come back for continue this conversation or talk to the people of Salo. Until then, Assalamu alaikum.